All right, are we ready to proceed?
Judge, I need to admonish my client and get their signatures on the documents.
Sure, absolutely. Do you want a breakout room for that?
Yes, please.
All right, invitations are sent.
Thank you.
I'm going to step down for a second while it's going to take a couple minutes to do the admonishments. Okay, welcome back. Ms. Taylor, were you able to admonish your client properly?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. I think we still need his signature though, and Mom's.
Okay. I'm just going to do it over the phone or over Zoom. I'll just notate that you agreed to it on Zoom. All right, Ms. Mowdy, are we ready to proceed?
State's ready, Judge.
So the court will call cause number 323-113-892-20. This is styled in the matter of Denham Michael Ellams. We are here set for adjudication on this matter. Mr. Ellams, a couple things I want to go over with you. If you can turn off the mute so I can hear your responses. Thank you. All right, first, the court will take judicial notice that there was a First amended petition regarding a child engaged in delinquent conduct filed on July 31st of 2020, alleging 2 paragraphs of delinquent conduct, one being aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon, and the other being unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. The court will also take notice that this case was submitted to the Tarrant County Grand Jury, and the Grand Jury approved this first paragraph for determinate sentence punishment, and that was filed on August 20th of 2020, that there was service upon the child with the return date of September 1st of 2020, and a service upon the parent, Miss Katrina Davis, that was also with a file mark date of September 1st of 2020. This court, under coronavirus restrictions, is not conducting in-person proceedings. However, we are using Zoom, and we are broadcasting these proceedings on YouTube to give the public meaningful access to what occurs in open courts. The court will take judicial notice that in the court file is a stipulation of evidence, judicial confession, and disposition agreement, as well as a 3914 manifest. Also filed with the court under seal is the social history and the victim's court report, which the court has not viewed yet. All right, so Michael and Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Okay, if you could both raise your right hands for me. Each of you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give at this cause currently at trial that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Okay, all right, you can lower your hands. Michael, a couple questions, or is it Denham or Michael? What should I call you?
Denham.
Denham. All right, Denham, first question I have for you is, can I ask what your full legal name is?
Denham Michael E.
Okay, and what is your date of birth?
January 11, 2004.
All right, are you an American citizen?
Yes.
So the law requires me to tell you about the nature and possible consequences of these proceedings, including admissibility in criminal proceedings. So you have a determined sentence approval for a first-degree felony level offense. That means I could commit you as a result of this offense for up to 40 years in the Texas Juvenile Justice Department. And if you were not to complete the 40 years before your 19th birthday, there would be a hearing in front of me to decide whether or not I transferred you to complete the remainder of your sentence in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. That is adult prison. Do you understand that that's what could happen out of your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. Also let you know, if I end up committing you, that these proceedings in its entirety can be used against you in adult criminal settings. So if you got picked up for shoplifting as an adult, they could bring back and use this aggravated robbery against you. You understand how if you end up getting committed to THJD, this can be used against you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Next, I want to let you know is you do have certain rights guaranteed by the Constitution of Texas and the Constitution of the United States. You do have a right to remain silent. You do not have to say anything at all. It is my understanding that your attorney worked out a deal with the district attorney's office so that you wish to give up your right to remain silent, and for me to follow the agreement that you have, which is the probation. So would you give up your right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
You also have a right to have a trial. You do not have to admit that you did anything. You can require the district attorney's office to prove everything in open court in a trial where I listen to the witnesses and see the evidence and decide whether or not you committed the offense of aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon and whether or not you used a motor vehicle of another person without their permission. Do you have to have a trial, or are you willing to admit that you did these things?
I'm willing to admit.
Okay. You also, if you decide that you don't like me or you don't want me to make the decision, you have a right to have a jury make this decision. They would hear the same evidence, listen to the same witnesses, and they would decide whether or not you committed the aggravated robbery and the unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. Do you need to have a jury to make this decision?
No, Your Honor.
You also have a right to confrontation. That means you have a right to look any witness against you in the eye as they testify. So that means if they lie, they have to lie to your face. And you have that right. Do you give up your right to confront your accusers?
Yes, Your Honor.
You also have a right to appeal. However, if I follow this agreement, you will not have a right to appeal. Do you understand? This will be final.
Yes, Your Honor.
If I don't follow this, you can take back your plea and you can appeal this. But if I follow it, you do not have a right to appeal. Okay?
Yes.
Also, I need to let you know that I do not have to follow this agreement. I'm going to follow this agreement, but I need to let you know that I don't have to. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mom, I had previously sworn you in. Could you please tell me what your full legal name is?
Katrina Rochelle Davis.
Okay, and what is your relationship to Denham Michael Ellums?
I'm his mother.
Thank you. Ms. Taylor, is there any reason why your client will not understand the proceedings today?
No, Your Honor.
Is he fit to proceed?
I believe so.
All right, so Mr. Ellums, you are here today because the state of Texas has filed a petition alleging that you have engaged in delinquent conduct, which, if committed by an adult, would constitute an offense against the laws of the state of Texas, namely aggravated robbery and unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. They are saying on or about July 22nd, 2020, in Tarrant County, Texas, that you intentionally and knowingly, while in the course of committing theft of property and with intent to obtain or maintain control of said property, caused bodily injury to another, Rashard Robinson, by striking Rashard Robinson with the handle of a BB gun, and that you used or exhibited a deadly weapon, namely a BB gun, and in the manner of its use or intended use was capable of causing death or serious bodily injury. And that is a first-degree felony. They are also saying on or about you left off the date on the unauthorized use. I can look it up, but just for future. On or about May 20th of 2020 in Tarrant County, Texas, they intentionally operated a motor vehicle, specifically an automobile, knowing that you did not have the effective consent of the owner, Trevor Eastman. You understand what they're saying that you did?
Yes, Your Honor.
State waive opening?
State does, Your Honor.
Any exhibits from the state as to adjudication?
None, Your Honor.
So what I have here, Denham, is what's called a stipulation, okay? You recognize this document?
Mhm.
Yes, Your Honor.
You went over it with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
So in this document, it's saying it has all the information, and that includes your date of birth and what you're accused of doing. And so everything in this document, do you understand what a stipulation is? Have you heard that word before?
Yes, Your Honor.
You sure? Because I didn't expect you to. Stipulation. Do you know what that is?
Stipulation?
Yes, let's see.
No, Your Honor. Can you
Okay, so let me go over that. A stipulation is a formal legal word for an agreement, but it's the kind of agreement that you can never go back on. So if I was to say right now that your mom's hair was red, okay, is that something you could agree with?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so we could not stipulate that on that. But if I was to say that she was wearing glasses, could you agree with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so what would happen is we could stipulate that she was wearing glasses. So 20 years from now, we could not get an argument about whether or not your mom was wearing glasses. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Once you stipulate, you can never go back and undo it. So this is a stipulation. So that means everything in this document, I'm going to ask you if it's true or not true. You understand? If you say true, you can never go back and say any part of this was not true. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
So the question for you is everything in this document, is it true or not true?
True.
Now, There's also an enhancement that a deadly weapon was used during the aggravated robbery. Is it true or not true that a deadly weapon was used?
It is true, Your Honor.
Now, is anybody making you say true?
No, Your Honor.
Did anybody threaten you for you to say true?
No, Your Honor.
Did anybody induce you to say true? That means, did anybody like offer you a bribe or cash money to say true?
No, Your Honor.
So are you saying true because it is true and for no other reason?
Yes, Your Honor.
You know what the word voluntary means, or volunteer?
I believe so, but could you
What would that mean to you?
that you would do something of your own free will?
Okay, so are you saying true of your own free will?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state waive close.
State does, Your Honor.
Respondent waive close.
We do, Your Honor.
Based on the competent evidence from this hearing, the court will make a finding of delinquency, specifically the allegations in the petition in paragraphs 1 and 2 were established by the evidence. The court will also make an affirmative finding that a deadly weapon was used. That will conclude adjudication on this matter. Ready for disposition?
State's ready, Judge.
Respondent's ready, Your Honor.
So the court will call call number 323-113-892-20. This is styled in the matter of Denham Michael Ellens. The court having previously adjudicated this child as delinquent, we are now here on disposition for this matter. State waive opening.
State does, Your Honor.
Any exhibits or witnesses from the state as to disposition?
No, Your Honor.
Is there an allocution in this matter, Ms. Mowdy?
There is not, Judge.
Ms. Taylor, are there any exhibits or witnesses as to disposition from the respondent?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Davis, at this point, the law allows the parent to inform the court of any information that you might find helpful in making my decision. Now, there's an agreement for him to receive 4 years of probation, and so I'm going to follow that. I just didn't know if you had any additional information for me.
No, Your Honor. Basically, he's doing well in school, and I'm glad that, he was able to, you guys were able to come to some type of agreement, because I did want to see him graduate from high school. So, and he's on a good path and trying to do better. So I'm glad that he has this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Dotson, are you here?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay, he was on probation for robbery. Did that probation expire, or was he on probation when this happened?
No, Your Honor, that probation expired. Let me get the date.
Okay, Ms. Mowdy, so I'm going to put you on the spot here for a child who was adjudicated delinquent for robbery. So that's taking property with force. Now is looking at an aggravated robbery. So the next step, if this fails, is you're looking at a capital murder. So why should the court be giving this kid probation when it looks like he hasn't learned from probation before?
Well, after speaking with probation and his behavior on probation since this incident, and speaking with defense counsel and probation, we feel at this time he will be successful on probation. We feel that TJJD at this time is not necessarily, due to the nature of the offense, it would seem that it would be appropriate. But because of his behavior and because of his attempts to change his behavior, we feel that probation would be appropriate in this case.
State waive close.
State does, Your Honor.
Respondent waive close.
We do.
So based on the competent evidence provided during this trial, the court will find that the child is in need of rehabilitation and the protection of the public requires disposition to be made. The court will honor the stipulated agreement as to disposition. So, Mr. Ellums, I am going to commit you to the Texas Juvenile Justice Department for a period of 4 years. However, I'm going to probate that commitment for a period of 4 years. What that means, Mr. Ellums, is I've actually sentenced you to 4 years into TJJD, at which point, before your 19th birthday, you would have to come back here and I would look at everything you did while you're at TJJD and decide whether to transfer you to the adult prison system or not. However, I'm going to give you this opportunity to be on probation for a period of 4 years so that if you do everything right, then you do not have to go to TJJD. But what you have to understand, Mr. Ellums, is right now you are asking me to give you this chance. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So at this point, I've just sentenced you to 4 years, but I'm giving you this chance because you're asking me, you are promising me for the next 4 years that you can be on the up and up and do everything right. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
A lot of what you have to do is you have to stay away from the friends that you've been hanging out with. I am pretty sure that if you had only associated with the people that your mom approved of, you and I would not be talking today. I think you know that too. So for 4 years, your mom's picking your friends. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
I say 4 years, that's not entirely the case. I'll explain that in just a minute. But until you turn 19, your mom is picking your friends. Get it? Your mom's deciding what jobs you have, what jobs you don't have, whether you leave the house, not leave the house. You're relying on your mother. Even though you'll be an adult when you turn 18, your mom, since this is a juvenile case, will have a say in all that parts of your life. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
But you're asking me for this, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So when you're 18 and a half, 18 and 9 months old, and you're like, man, this is BS. I can't believe I have to listen to my mom, even though I'm a grown man. You understand? You're asking me to put you in that situation.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because if you didn't, I could send you to TJJD and just be done with it. You understand how this works, right?
Yes, Your Honor. I do.
Any discomfort or anything that you don't like for the next 4 years, that is going to be because you've asked me to put you in that situation, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. That means you're asking me to make sure that you don't smoke weed for the next 4 years, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Because smoking weed would be the absolute dumbest reason for you to go to prison, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And hanging around friends that are making bad decisions, that'd be a dumb reason for you to go to prison too, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you're rolling around with friends who have warrants and there's weed in the car, if the police put that weed on you, guess who's going to prison?
Me.
Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to your mom. Don't do that to your family.
Yes, sir.
All right, specifically, the reason for this disposition is the child is in need of rehabilitation and the protection of the public. All right. So, Mr. Ellums, I need to tell you a couple things. First of all, I need to let you know that before your 19th birthday, if you do not have your probation violated, so let's say I don't send you to TJJD, you will have a hearing with me and I will decide whether to discharge you for probation or to transfer your probation to the adult criminal courts. Okay? Now, I will tell you, I will be very fair about it. I don't make that decision. We will have a hearing and I will see what you did on probation. If you finish high school, you're doing everything right, you're gainfully employed, you're respectful to your mom is called as a witness by your attorney to say Denham is doing everything perfect, I will not transfer you. I'll release you for probation. I have no problem doing that. But if Mr. Dotson comes back and tells me, Judge, we have some positive UAs, he was contacted by the police, picked up in a car with other kids after a felony stop, you know, this and that, he's unemployed, he hasn't gotten his GED. If Mr. Dotson's giving me bad information, I'll decide that you have to go to adult probation to finish out the rest of your probation. I believe juvenile offenses are juvenile offenses. I'm okay with that. But you're at the point now where you have to grow up fast. Either take care of your business and be done with it and not go to the adult system, or keep on acting like a fool and then I'll send you to the adult courts. At which point they can violate your probation. Now remember, our juvenile probation is much easier than adult probation. So if you go to adult probation and you're having a hard time here, you'll have a really hard time there. And there's a good chance you'll go to prison over that. And if that happens, you get 0 time for the time you've been on probation. So you can do 3 years and 11 months on this probation, violate, and then go to prison for a full 4 years. Okay, so you don't get credit for any of this. your probation is day to day. You're saying, Judge Kim, I'm going to do everything right. Give me this chance and give me the opportunity, and you're going to show me that you're doing right. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I also need to let you know that you do not have a right to appeal because I followed this agreement. So this is final. We cannot go back. Right? Now, you may or may not have the ability to seal your records. It depends on what happens in your case. That is in Chapter 58 of the Family Code. Your attorney can explain that to you. And Ms. Mowdy, there's nothing in the record to indicate the victim was under 17 years old. So the court will be unable to make such a finding. All right, so Mr. Ellums, I did tell you, one thing you cannot forget is I just sentenced you to 4 years today. So every day for the next 4 years that you're on the outside, every day that you're eating your mom's food or going to work or waking up and seeing the beautiful sun outside, that's a day that you're not in prison because you're doing right. It's a day-by-day decision that you have to make. Because any day, if you violate probation, you could go and start a 4-year sentence in TJJD or adult prison. You understand how serious I am about this?
Yes, Your Honor.
Remember just a minute ago when I was talking to Ms. Mowdy and I said, why should I give this kid probation? Because he's already been on probation for robbery and now it's gotten worse. And remember how uncomfortable you felt when I was asking her that question?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do not put yourself in that situation again, right? Because that's where I'm coming from. If you come back on a violation, because even something like you steal a stick of bubble gum, right? That question is what I'm going to ask Ms. Mowdy. Why should I keep this kid on probation? Already right now, I don't want to give you probation, Mr. Ellums. I'm doing it because you're attorney. I've known her for I've known her literally since you were in diapers. That's how long I've known Ms. Taylor, okay? And Ms. Mowdy is an outstanding attorney, and I'm trusting them on this one. If it was up to me, I'd say, no, this kid goes to TJJD. But I'm trusting those two. So you got a break on this one. Don't waste this opportunity.
Yes, sir.
Okay? With this opportunity, you're going to survive. I'm telling you, if you listen to your mom or not, it all boils down to that. Okay? All right. So, Mr. Ellums, do you have any questions for me?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Taylor, have I missed anything?
I don't believe so, Judge.
Ms. Mowdy, have I missed anything?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So I think at this point, I notified your right to appeal and your possible transfer to adult prison. All right, Mr. Ellums, do right. Okay? Just do everything right. You'll be fine. You got this chance. If you don't violate, you don't have problems, you'll never see me. Well, you'll see me before your 19th, but that'll be the last time. We'll just cut you loose and you'll be free. Okay?
Yes,
Your Honor,
Yes, Mr. Dotson.
he's been on an EM since August. I just didn't know if you want to address that or not.
Any violations?
No, sir.
Okay.
It's been excellent.
All right. Let's take that EM off. And when's the last time we gave him a drug test?
Today, Your Honor, he passed it.
That's what I like to hear.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Mr. Ellums, it feels a lot different when you take a test knowing you're going to be clean, doesn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's a good feeling, isn't it?
Yes.
All right. Keep up. Have that good feeling again. Just don't worry about it.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Dotson. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Judge. May I be excused?
Dang.